So you might think, oh, I can't handle more new stuff, Mr. Hickson. It's really just, I'm just combining everything together. Okay, that's all I'm doing. So page 38, highlight multiple triangles. It's a bit more difficult to solve, but in general, I like to give steps, but I don't like to tell you must do it this way. But some students appreciate at least a way to get started, and then you might go your own way later. So first step is fill in what you can without solving. So by that I mean focus on, is there complementary or a supplementary angle somehow that will help me get another angle that I need. Okay. Second question, start with a triangle with the most information. So start with a triangle that has the most information already present. Third step, solve for the shared side, right? The side that is shared, focus on that one, the one that they have in common. And then solve for the side that requires, right, to answer the actual question. Now solve in. So basically, I will put this in brackets. Move into second triangle. Okay, that's what you're going to do there. So let's put this to the test. Does it work? Well, let's see. Here it is. So most of the time, everything is already in the diagram. Sometimes you're going to have to add. So still read. Okay. The angle of elevation to the top of the tree from point B is 42 degrees. This should actually ring a bell. Angle of elevation. And it's 42 degrees. Let's go find point B. And this is indeed the angle of elevation, right? 42, because it's between the horizontal and line going up. Good. Check. From point C, which is over here, which is 70 meters closer to the tree. So it could be that this person walked a little closer to the tree and is now looking up. The angle of elevation to the top of the tree is 58 degrees. Okay, so you have this one check. That's also check. It's asking you how tall is the tree. So this is the ultimate question. How tall is that tree? And you should see at least, don't be scared of one like this, okay? You should see at least two triangles side by side and a side they share. Let's highlight the side that they share in common. Okay. And so your goal is going to be, that is the side they share. Okay. Shared side. Okay. So you have triangle sub 1 and triangle sub 2 here. Which one should you start with? You look at them. You look at this one. It's like I've got an angle, a side. This angle is not inside of it. Okay, what else? I go to this one. There's no side whatsoever on this one. So bad idea to start with that one. You should start with this one. Oh, sure. 1 second. Two triangles. This one is shared. I would suggest start with this one here. And let's focus on what can you do, what else can you do with this triangle to get more information there? We just learned about it last week. You see supplementary angle? Like this should kind of, this one right here next to this one, let's highlight that supplementary right there. It should ring a bell, right? That is, there are two supplementary angles there. So I'm actually going to highlight that here. I'm going to say, hey, this, if that is 58, then I can definitely find this one here. So that's my first order of business. So I'm going to go 180 minus 58, and you get 122, right? You get 122 degrees. This one right here. And that's the one I'm going to bring in here. So I would actually suggest use a pen or something telling you that I found that. That's not a whole lot of solving there, right? That's just using a property. I would just say straight angle. Straight angle is equal to 180. Okay. This was my first step right here. So let's say step 1. What can you do now? Now that you have two angles, you can easily find a third, right? So it's a puzzle. Okay. So let's do this one right here. I'm going to do that up here. 180 minus 42 minus 122. And that equals to 16 degrees. So now we know this one. I'm going to call that step 2. This part right here. Step 2. So I have gathered a whole whack load of information for that triangle. What can I do with it now? You see a pair? Sometimes it's not easily visible, but technically this angle right here, if you travel out until you hit the side, you meet 70, right? So now you actually have a pair. You have a pair. I'm going to say this. This is probably the hardest part of the whole, like a test, but probably only have one like this on the test. Okay. Most at the beginning is just going to be find me the angle, find me the side. Then I might ask you to find me the height of something. Then I might ask you to solve me some angles and some word problems. And this is probably going to be at the end. Okay. So keep that in mind. Okay. What I'm going to do here, follow me real quick here. I'm just going to go underneath and recreate this diagram without all that busyness around it. So I'm just going to go like this and down and just put in what I need. I need this side. I have this is 122, this is 42, and this is 16. Okay. Let me zoom into that maybe. But I've just transferred some information there that I need. And I'm still going to highlight this green because that's the one I'm really interested in because that's the one that's shared. Okay. So your goal is to give information to that other triangle so you can solve it. So we're going to go sine of 16 over 70 meters because that's my pair. And then I'm going to go sine of what? If I use 122, it's the wrong side, then you're solving for this one here. You want to use 42 degrees to find that one. Sine of 42 over, what are we going to call this? I'm going to call this side y. And so we plug that in, and voila. That's about as much French as you're going to hear me say ever. So there. 169.93. Not the final answer, but a very important answer. And I know what you're thinking. When am I ever going to use this in real life, right? Don't focus on that too much. Focus on the skill. Like, what did I have to do to solve this problem? That's what it's after, right? That's what we're really interested in. So we solved the one that's shared. I will put that big shared side. Let's do that one more time. This is basically like where everything hinges on. Like, find that shared side. I'm gonna do green, right? Underneath it, maybe. And now we're gonna focus on the one that's ultimately asked of. Okay. So I'm gonna zoom out. I'm gonna try zooming in as much as I can because I know it's hard to see sometimes. I'm gonna recreate this triangle over here. And I'm gonna call this X. I'm going back to my original, the 58 that I used earlier to find the 122. That 58 can come with you right here. The shared side is 169.93. Use green for it, right? So here it is again. And if you have another highlighter and you like to highlight, how about we do one of these? I'm going to go orange there, orange there. Mrs. Dirksen, do we have 3 now? Because you told me if I have 3 things, I can solve it. I have side, I have angle, and I have another angle. This one is 90. You're good to go now. Good to go. Pair. Is it sine law again? Yeah. Sine of 90 over 169.93. Then it's sine of 58 over side x. Anybody remember what sine of 90 is equal to? I'll give you 100. No. It's 1, right? Never promise money because you'll lose. Note to myself. This times this divided by 1. Sine of 90 is just 1. And that gives you 144.11 meters. This is the height of the tree. This is what the question was after. And I'm going to box this in steps. I like to kind of show you step by step, how did I solve this? How did I solve it? So I'll let you write this down first, and then I'll zoom out, and we'll put boxes around things. And we keep on telling you to think outside the box, right? Technically you are, because you're using what you learned in one box, you transfer it over to another one, and then you just keep building your case. So here we go. So step 1, step 2, sum of triangles. And then this was my third step. Go ahead. Step 3. And then this one was step 4. So that's your overview. How I solved it. Again, it started with the straight angle, which gave me that. Sum of triangles 180 gave me that. Then I realized that a pair. Okay. Should I say that here? This is a pair. Sine law. And I'm just going to say maybe right, this one and this one formed a pair. And then it's just like a puzzle. You're smarter than you think. Mr. Dirksen said another way of doing it. There is, but I will not show you. You can figure it out and you can ask me, and it's just a different route. You all arrive to the same conclusion. Because if you look carefully, there's actually a big triangle that has both of them inside of it. You can go that route if that works for you, but you're going to end up doing the same amount of work. It's just different route. I want you to practice this right away. So go to 39. And I'm going to ask you to do 40 as well if you manage to finish this already. I will say at least to 40. Right? I will post the key. It's a colored key, guys. The highlighted, the whole, everything is there. I'm going to post that shortly. And quiz. I'm sure you want to know about the quiz a little bit. I didn't review a whole lot in detail because technically it's just sine law, cosine law. I'm just going to give you a triangle. Can you solve for what's missing? A little bit of word problems and a little bit of finding the height of the triangle. Multiple triangles. This, I think I'm going to omit this for the quiz, what you're doing now, but it's still good practice because you're using sine law, cosine law for these, right? So go ahead and just do that, and that's what I would expect you to review for tomorrow. And then Wednesday, I'll give you the quiz back. I'll give you some ACs to prepare us for the test, and that'll be our review, okay? Thank you, guys. Make sure you use your time wisely.